A very good morning from Toronto. This is Rakhmad Sobirov. Today is all about you, your questions, and my answers. We have an Ask Me Anything session as we do it from time to time. So get your questions ready. We will be back soon.
Just a quick reminder before we start. Please note that whatever you hear in these live sessions or any content you see on social media by Sobirovs Law Firm is general information only and not legal advice. While we may use certain real-life scenarios or legal cases for learning purposes, it is important to remember that this does not constitute a legal opinion. For personalized legal advice, please consult with your lawyer or hire a Canadian immigration lawyer. Now, let's get back to our show.
It's great to see you all. As usual, we will start with news pieces or information pieces that we think are relevant to our business immigration clients. So, news number one is IRCC has announced yesterday that they are implementing certain automation tools to improve processing for work permit extensions and post-graduation work permit applications. Why this is relevant to business immigration? Because usually, in most cases, when business immigration is completed, the business owner comes to Canada on a work permit and starts running the business. It may be required after some time when work permit is about to expire to do work permit extension. So some of our clients may expect that the extension of their existing work permit can be done faster because these tools are being implemented. You can read it in the link below this video, what is happening to this process and how much artificial intelligence will be involved. So it's good news, but I would take it with a pinch of salt a little bit. Next one, many of our clients and potential clients, they are interested in the electrification trend in Canada, the electric cars and trucks and even buses. So it is this interactive map that we will leave. It's called map.accelerateev.ca, and this was created by these group of institutions: Accelerate, Electric Autonomy, Trillium Network, and NGen. This is very interactive map, and it's very good for you if you are in the space of electrification or EV and so on. You can see how many companies across Canada, province by province. You can filter with different criteria, and you can see the trend, whether you can get into this trend and benefit from the big wave of electrification in Canada. That's up to you, and if you need any guidance on that, we are here to help. So the links are below this video, and we will get to your questions right away.
Are you constantly on the move, managing your business, and looking for a convenient way to stay informed about expanding your business to Canada? Look no further. Introducing Speaking of Canada, the podcast that keeps you in the loop on all things related to Canadian business immigration, delivering the latest news and valuable tips and captivating interviews, no matter how busy your schedule gets. Speaking of Canada has got you covered.
Just a quick reminder that we have comprehensive guides on our website, sobirovs.com, and FAQs there already. Today, it's about your questions, but I also gathered some questions from our audience. I will start with these questions, and I'll go to your questions. So please start typing. Our assistant will bring the questions to the screen, and I will read and answer them to the best of my skills. Okay, the first question that I received from the audience in advance of this show is the following. It relates to foreign startups. The question is, how does Sobirovs Law Firm assist foreign startups in establishing their operations in Canada? That's a very good question. And by the way, when we talk about foreign startups and coming to Canada, startup visa program is not the only choice. There are multiple choices. So when the keywords startups and Canada and immigration are in one sentence, don't automatically think of startup visa. There are other avenues too. By the way, my new piece will be coming out soon. Check out the inside sections of Sobirovs Law Firm, where I compare business immigration to startup visa program, and I discuss the pros and cons of each. So to answer this question, I would say that Sobirovs Law Firm provides comprehensive legal guidance. to foreign startups that want to expand to Canada. So there are existing foreign startups who want to be in the Canadian market or North American market as a whole. So we do the corporate incorporation and all the corporate law matters. We can also assist in navigating the startup visa program, acquiring a new business. Perhaps the foreign startup has enough capital to acquire a Canadian operation. We can help you across the board in terms of provincial programs, tech immigration programs, specifically, for example, Alberta Tech Pathway and so on. So the whole suite of business immigration and expansion legal services will be provided by us directly or by our partners that we gather for the purpose of serving you in the best way possible. And of course, not only expansion, but also consistent compliance with immigration laws is very important. Once foreign startups or existing companies expand to Canada, they want to bring their team to Canada. So some specialists can be transferred to Canadian operations, and Canadian authorities would like to see that you are compliant with immigration laws while your team is functioning from Canada. That's question number one. Let me take a question from the audience right away. Let's bring up the question. Anwar Bahodir is asking the following question. I got my employer-based work permit. That's great, congratulations. I went to Canada, but I didn't work for my employer. I left Canada in a week. Can I enter with my current visa? Okay, that's a very good question. I think if you didn't show up to your work as you were expected to, now you don't have a work permit. Your employer should have reported this incident to the IRCC, and the IRCC system should have been updated accordingly. Now, when you come to Canada on a on a work visa, but when you try to enter, CBSA will ask you specific questions. So why you are coming to Canada, again, when you don't have a job or you're not working for the employer that hired you. So if I can get the question again, you need a thorough legal consultation in this matter because you didn't live up to the conditions of your work permit, and this may be potentially a problematic situation for you. Second, I went to Canada with NOC 6311. Do I have to apply for a work permit with NOC 6311 again, or can I change it? I cannot remember out of my head what is NOC 6311 relates to, but if you tell me your profession, that would be helpful. In any case, if you didn't go to the employer and your work permit was restricted to that employer, you will have to apply for work permit all over again with a job offer, perhaps LMIA supported job offer. As you can see, you can change your professions as long as you fit into that job description, that specific NOC code that you want to apply to. So again, this is a very specific situation. I'm giving you my general understanding of your circumstances. Please consult with a lawyer or consult with the employer that will be hiring you as a foreign worker. Okay. Let me get another question from the audience. Please start typing your questions. Today it's all about your inquiries. Callistus Moses is asking the question: what are the timelines for extension of SUE work permit within Canada? If yes, what are charges? The charges for the extension. Okay, let me bring it. So from inside Canada, extension from inside Canada. I will bring it right now on the screen if I can. So here's a situation. The online application is taking 128 days generally, but paper-based application is faster. So if you are inside Canada, you can extend your work permit in these time frames. The charges, the fees, you can check the fees. There are governmental fees, or if you're doing it with a lawyer, the lawyer fees range usually from 3,000, I believe, to 5,000, depending on your circumstances. And again, you need to understand, is it only the worker, the startup founder, that is extending the work permit, or the whole family of this founder family members of the founder who are in Canada at the moment? By the way, Sobirovs Law Firm has a fee calculator, free. You can go and check it out at sobirovs.com, fee calculator, and you can estimate your overall legal cost for SUV work permit extension. Okay. Now, let me get. There are some questions coming in, but I would also get the questions from my list, if you don't mind. Okay. The question was, how do you help Canadian companies when they decide to hire foreign workers? Okay. Again, we need to speak to a Canadian employer, what they are trying to achieve with foreign worker hiring. Also, have they had any previous experience or history of hiring foreign workers? We will first know about the Canadian employer, and then we will understand their HR needs, whether they try to recruit within Canada or not. Because by default, Canadian authorities would like Canadian employers to try to hire within Canada, whether it's permanent residents or citizens. So Canadians are priority. If they cannot find to fill certain professions, certain vacancies within Canada, then they apply for LMIA. We help with the LMIA. It's very technical. We help with the advertisement of the position, recruitment efforts, analyzing the candidates, and so on, and applying for LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment. The whole logic of LMIA is that you need to prove that you did your best to hire Canadians, but you couldn't find the right fit. Now you want to hire somebody outside of Canada. And hiring that person does not negatively affect Canadian labor market. So for that, ESDC will scrutinize the LMIA application and your efforts, and then issue a positive LMIA. With that LMIA, you can hire a foreign worker. We can help your chosen foreign worker to apply for work permit and bring him or his family, his or her family, to Canada. If you support that worker's permanent residence as an employer, as a Canadian employer, we can help you with that too. So there is a spectrum of services that we provide to Canadian employers. Sometimes we can also help you to do recruitment. If you say you don't have a candidate in mind, we have a network of partners that we work with, and we can find you the right person in any part of the world if you tell us what are the requirements of that vacancy. We specialize in knowledge-based workers, foreign workers, for example, IT specialists and specialized knowledge holders. We can help you in any step of your recruitment effort when it comes to foreign workers. So if you have any questions, and we have a very thorough guidelines on our website, it's free of charge. Go and explore that guideline. And if you have any questions, consider booking 1-hour strategy meeting with our senior lawyers. Okay. Now let's come to the question from the audience, please. Okay. Sanjay Ukani, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Okay, Sanjay Ukani is asking the following question. Is there any business immigration program in any province which has no mandatory stay of 75% of time in Canada till PR application? Well, you are referring to PNPs, the Provincial Nominee Program Entrepreneur Stream. So what we call PNP Business Immigration Program, Provincial Business Immigration Program. Most of them they require, all of them they require, I would say. But the federal business immigration programs such as C11, intra-company transfer, owner-operator, and so on, that we specialize in, both provincially and federally, we can help you with business immigration. But federal business immigration programs, they don't require you to be present in Canada. That's one of the advantages of federal business immigration programs. There are several of those. Even startup visa applicants can, of course, by nature of startup, can travel around the world, and they may not maintain 75% of their presence in Canada, right? So federal business immigration programs could be a better solution rather than the provincial nominee program in entrepreneur streams. So don't be discouraged. There are ways, there are programs that suit your need and your requirement. However, you need to be realistic. If your business, the nature of the business requires you to be mostly spending your time in Canada and overseeing your operations in Canada, you have to be realistic and work on your business. Our philosophy at Sobirovs Law Firm is that you should take care of your business. The immigration part, we will take care of it, okay? Focus on your business, on the prosperity, revenue, and enlarging and improving your business. The rest should not be a problem. But if you say, I want to just establish a business on paper, let it run by itself, and I will be sitting in my home country while I wait for my PR, I think there might be some red flags there. Let's talk, let's discuss what you're trying to achieve so that we can tailor your immigration strategy accordingly. Okay? Now, next one, Iskandar Adinayev. Is Newfoundland or Nova Scotia really the easiest places to immigrate under provincial programs? Well, Iskandar, I think the word easy changes from person to person, okay? The easiest by whom? If your priorities fit into the immigration programs that you mentioned of Newfoundland and Labrador or Nova Scotia PNP, then yes, it could be easy for you. But the same programs can be difficult for some other candidates. Again, this is something that is, as if you're going to pharmacy and asking whether this medicine or drug can help me to solve is this the easiest, the best for all males or all females suffering this. And so the pharmacy wants to know what's your previous history, what you are trying to achieve, what are your side effects, do you have any allergies, and so on. Lawyers are very operate in the same manner like doctors and pharmacists. We need to understand the client. We spend a lot of time understanding the client, what they're trying to achieve, short term, medium term, and long term, and then come up with the best, what you call easy immigration solution. And I'm of the belief that there's no easy immigration program, to be honest. Every immigration program has its own requirements, challenges, and battles, to be honest. So you need to come up with the strategy that fits your objectives, okay? You clarified, for example, specifically in education sector. Okay, education sector, if you want to operate a business in the education sector, then I don't think, any specific province gives an easy pathway. Any business operations in any province require certain amount of investment, oversight, and compliance. And if you are referring to education sector by studying in those provinces, some provinces in the Atlantic region of Canada, they have good pathway for those who studied in those provinces or who worked in those provinces, or alternatively who has a job offer from those provinces. That makes it easier, not necessarily totally easy, okay? There is a hassle, but hassle-free immigration. We offer hassle-free immigration. We take care of those nuances and difficulties in immigration for you. Again, a thorough consultation is required. I'm sorry, I have to repeat myself again and again about consultation.
To stay updated on all things related to Canadian business immigration, check us out on social media. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter for the latest news and updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell to stay informed about the most recent immigration news, interviews with top immigration specialists, and our weekly live shows. Visit our website at www.sobirovs.com for more information or to book a consultation with our team of experts.
We're back again with your questions. I will continue with the question that I received before the show. So another question, how can foreign business owners transfer their existing company to Canada? I would rephrase this question. I would say expand their existing company to Canada, because transferring could be more challenging. So there's a program called intra-company transfer in which we specialize. We do it every day for the last 10 plus years. So intra-company transfer program allows you to expand your existing home country business to Canada. We will help you in expansion. And in the meantime, you can get up to 2 years of work permit to run your newly established Canadian operations. Certain category of people from your home country business can be transferred to Canada. They can be senior management, specialized knowledge, and specific categories of people. So we can help you to transfer that. And maybe you can establish either subsidiary, branch, or affiliate and transfer your employers. These are legal terminology, these terms that you shouldn't worry too much about, but a thorough legal advice and especially tax advice will be advisable, because will be preferred, because you don't want to be liable for taxes. So we have a partner tax law firm that we work with. We are not tax lawyers. We refer you to them, and they will advise you on what kind of structure you need to build to expand your business in Canada. Again, I'll remind you, there's a thorough guidelines on how to moving your existing company to Canada at Sobirovs.com website. Okay, another question from the audience. Rashid Kolapo. Hello, Rashid. For business immigration, is IELTS test required even if I am from English-speaking country? In general, let me give a general answer. For Canadian immigration, IELTS is required. However, business immigration there are two types broadly. Those that require IELTS before you apply, those that don't require IELTS. For example, intra-company transfer or C11 work permit, they don't require IELTS when you apply for work permit. But startup visa program or provincial nominee program, they require you that you prove that your level of English is at a certain level. To prove it objectively, you need a test result. So IELTS seems to be the most global type of test, and you can take it from any country. Being from an English-speaking country, or even being born as an English-speaking person, as an American, or even studying at Oxford University, does not relieve you from the requirement of getting IELTS, okay? This is a strict requirement, and for those who are speaking English natively, and they were born with this language or have high level of proficiency in English language, IELTS is not a problem. It's a quite reasonable test. It's not and it's not too expensive either. So there are business immigration programs that require you from the outset to get an IELTS, and there are those that don't require from the outset. But when it comes to become a permanent resident in Canada, don't forget you cannot avoid IELTS exam unless you have very specific reason to claim that you cannot take that exam for some reason. Okay. Shepherd, hello. Can a US company get a work permit for a new hire who is an Indian citizen to start their new Canadian subsidiary? Will LMIA be required, or is C10 the best way? We just had that very similar situation. An American new startup wanted to expand to Canada. One of the partners and employees of that startup was an Indian national. We went with the C10 option because that startup in the US does not really fit into intra-company transfer, because the employer is very new in that company. You need a history of 12 months to be intra-company transfer. That's why we went with C10 option, and we successfully obtained that. We published that story on our website and on our YouTube channel. The owner, the founder of that company is giving his own experience on how we did it. So yes, in that scenario, LMIA will not be required. C10 seems to be the best option. Again, the circumstances of each case is different. In my, based on the information you provided, I think that's the good way to go. Yeah. Rhonda Barran is asking the question, can I purchase a business while going through the Alberta Rural Entrepreneur Program PNP process? Well, yeah, you can purchase a business. There's no harm of becoming an owner or shareholder of a business in Canada. That's fine. As long if you need to then define your priorities. Is Alberta Rural Program, Entrepreneur Rural Program, is your priority? Because that program may have some kind of, I would say, restrictions of your connection to other province. Because the whole purpose of PNP is to maintain your residence in that province, in Alberta, right? But if you are now under work permit in Alberta under this program, Rural Entrepreneur Program, and you are trying to complete that performance agreement that you signed with the province, there's no harm of becoming an owner of another business in Ontario. That will be run by with your minimum involvement. But again, if your priority is to stay in Alberta and be in Alberta, complete that what you already invested into, that could be a good pathway to follow. Again, by just purchasing a business in some other province, I don't think it will be to the detriment of your current ongoing process. Okay. All right. I have another from my long list. Okay. All right. So there are a range of questions from business owners and high net worth individuals when they ask about getting Canadian residence or what they call purchasing Canadian residence. I think there's some misconception among that audience is that Canada, there's no permanent residence for sale in Canadian system or citizenship for sale. Certain countries, they have citizenship by investment or residency by investment programs. There are many of them. I will not name all of them today, but Canada requires you an active involvement in the business. There's no purchasing permanent residence or purchasing Canadian passport or citizenship yet. There's no, and I don't believe it will be in the near future. So all business immigration programs that may lead you to become PR or citizen in Canada, ultimately, they require your active involvement. They result in work permit first and then going to PR. So you need to be patient in that it's a process. So during the process, you need a thorough guidance by professionals. So that's a general question I received pre-show from my audience. Another question from current audience. Last question, does MBA study in Canada automatically gives you and my family 2-year post-study full working rights? You mean work permit? What if a child is born in that period? Does that help for long-term stay? Okay, if you study an MBA, usually MBA programs are for 2 years. During that 2 year, your family can join you. If you can afford having your family and covering all the expenses of having a family in Canada, you need to show that. You need to demonstrate you can cover all those expenses. During those 2 years of your study, your spouse may get open work permit. And your children may get study permits if they are in school age and they need to go to public schools. They can go to public schools for free. In the meantime, during your studies, if you have another new child born in Canada, that child can get automatically, it's considered citizen of Canada and can get passport of Canada. But after your studies are over, because you studied for 2 years at a designated learning institution, I hope the MBA program that you study at a Canadian university is a DLI, Designated Learning Institution. If you study for 2 years, you, the student, may get post-graduation work permit. and that will be for 3 years. That's an open work permit. Wherever you find a job, you can work under that PGWP, post-graduation work permit, and your spouse will in parallel have the same status, open work permit, the same with your kids. So in a theory, in that kind of scenario, you probably have 2 years plus 3 years, 5 years to maneuver within Canada to try to become eligible and qualified for permanent residence program and become permanent residents in the long term. So that's usually the scenario that we see over and over with international students. Bake Grains of Hope, that's the username, is asking the following question. I'm a 50-year-old chef from Cuba and wishing to come to Canada with my family. What is the best pathway, please? Okay, well, there are two ways. If you have financial resources, capital to open your own restaurant or purchase an existing restaurant, business immigration is one way. Or if you are a very good chef and you have an amazing background, work experience, and so on, then it's a good idea to apply for jobs across Canada. The best resources for jobs is a website called Job Bank. It is jobbank.gc.ca. We will leave a link underneath this video. And if you are a very qualified chef, there are many positions for chefs, not only in the restaurant chains or restaurant operations, but also in at the hotels across Canada. They're always looking for chefs. And if you're physically fit and you're ready to work long hours, I know chefs work long hours standing on their feet. If you're okay with that, then applying for a job and getting a job offer is another good opportunity for you. Then you can also bring your family with that. Rhonda Baran is coming again with another question. Can I use my IELTS report if the 2 years has just passed and I'm from an English-speaking country? No, if the validity of the IELTS result is finished, you will have to, that document is no longer a valid document, acceptable document. For immigration purposes where IELTS is required, then you have to renew that certificate, IELTS certificate.
Are you constantly on the move, managing your business, and looking for a convenient way to stay informed about expanding your business to Canada? Look no further. Introducing Speaking of Canada, the podcast that keeps you in the loop on all things related to Canadian business immigration, delivering the latest news and valuable tips and captivating interviews, no matter how busy your schedule gets. Speaking of Canada has got you covered.
Okay, another question from my list is the following. What kind of guidance and help does Sobirovs Law Firm offer for creating business plans tailored for Canadian immigration? So this is a very good question, and many people ask whether we use outside service providers to create business plans. First and foremost, again, we sit with our potential clients and understand what they're trying to achieve. If the pathway they are trying to achieve or the result they are trying to achieve requires a business plan, then we have an in-house business plan specialist. We analyze each and every business maybe you want to purchase or you want to develop a business plan to expand your business. Then we sit and work with you. Sometimes on a very rare occasion, we use outsiders to do some business valuation and market research and so on. But predominantly, we are responsible for your business plan. And we work with outsider experts who are not lawyers, who are like MBA holders, professors of economics and so on. We work with them to devise a solid business plan because business plan is one of the most critical documents in business immigration application, okay? And we have some pieces, guidelines also on our website on how to write business plans. And we have some videos with our business plan specialists on our YouTube channel. Check them out. What should business plan cover? What are the red flags to look for? and we did some good analytical job in those videos. Okay, next question from the audience. Muhammad Khan. Hello, sir. Hello, Muhammad. Your fees are so high. Why not give first meeting free for a few questions? At least we can do self-assessment. If person does not qualify, then $250 is gone. Hello, Muhammad. I don't think you read the fees correctly. 250 US dollars. When you don't get a value and you don't want to pursue the business immigration with us, we will return that fee for you. Okay, it's not a problem. We are not in the business of collecting and enriching ourselves with consultation fees. We want to know that the person is serious, because immigration requires spending money and immigration requires investment. Investment of our time and investment of your time. And I respect your time, and I expect that you respect our time too. That's why we created so many free tools on our website. Free calculator, free assessment. You can do your self-assessment and so on. So we gave so much value on our website that other professionals, they charge money for that kind of knowledge. Go and read our website, and if you still have questions and you think that you qualify for business immigration, only then please book consultation by paying $250. Again, after consultation, if we think that we cannot help you, right? We cannot help you because you don't qualify. Or you say, oh, I didn't get value from this consultation. Then the money is yours. We will return it to you. It's not that, I don't think our fees are high. The market fee for 1 hour strategy meeting or 1 hour consultation is about $350 or $400, sometimes $600 for thorough legal consultation. So I encourage you to compare our fees with other professionals that offer consultations and what kind of value they are proposing. Are they, and who you will be talking to. Will you be talking to a lawyer? Will you be talking to a senior lawyer or no? So you need to do your due diligence and research. And if you still have questions, please don't hesitate to contact us by email, which is wecare@sobirovs.com, and it's available on our website too. I hope I clarified this question, because sometimes people are hesitant to get to pay for consultation. But at the same time, you should understand us. We are for-profit organization and a law firm, and we don't like to have, free tire kickers, as they say. Those people who want free advice by paying nothing, and we are very transparent with that. We don't like that kind of approach in doing the research about immigration opportunities. I hope I was clear with that. Thank you. Okay. Another question, Bake Grains of Hope. Hello again. If I buy a business, a restaurant in Canada, do I need to have a business plan too to submit with my immigration application? Thank you for clarifying this. Depends on what kind of business, restaurant business. Some franchise operations, when you buy a franchise, they already have a business plan. They already done the market research of that specific location. Then we don't need a business plan. We just need to explain how you fit into that franchise, and franchisor, who will be giving you the franchise, will also do their due diligence. Because franchise operations, they don't want you to fail. They don't want you to fail their brand, right? So in that scenario, I don't think business plan is necessary, because it's already there. The market has been researched and so on. Secondly, if you need a business plan for, let's say you want to open a Cuban brand new restaurant, yes, then you cannot avoid. Because immigration authorities in Canada, they want to see whether you've done your due diligence, whether it's a realistic business, whether it's a viable business, and you have the financial and professional capacity to run that business. All this will be discussed in a business plan. That's why it's important. I've seen many previous applications by other independent applicants or the clients of other immigration professionals, where they got a cookie cutter business plan online somewhere on the website. They found a business plan, they downloaded it, they put their names, they put their companies, and then just submit it. But we understand Canada very well. Any location in Canada, we research thoroughly. That gives the value of a business plan. The weight of your business plan should be so high that the immigration authorities, when they're looking at your business plan, they don't have any questions about whether you did necessary research, whether you have the capacity, whether this is a viable business or not. Is it a realistic business? We've seen many federal court cases. Federal Court of Canada has a lot of cases where they criticize the business plan that was provided by the applicants. They clearly see through the business plan and say, this is a cookie cutter and not thoroughly researched business plan. It's unrealistic to expect this and that in that location. So pay attention to business plan. I think you need to spend enough time to prepare that important document. Okay? I think that's all for today. Thank you very much for your active participation. If you found this video to be useful, make sure that you subscribe and share with others. We are very happy to have you as our audience, and we hope you will help us to grow our audience in the near future. Enjoy the rest of the week. See you next week.